Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our panel. Today, we will discuss Web3 Gaming and NFTs. I have three fantastic speakers who are approaching the subject from different perspectives. Welcome to you guys. And let's start by getting to know each other. Could you please introduce yourselves and your companies as well? And I will go with alphabetical order. So, Batuhan, you are first.
Hi, I'm Batuhan. I'm a software development lead at Spike Games and Alox Games. In Alox Games, we are making Web3 technologies, not games, and at Spike Games, we are making regular hyper-casual games.
Thank you. Ender?
Hello again. My name is Ender Diril, and I'm one-on-one artist, NFT artist from Turkey. And my career, which began as a digital artist in 2002 and continued as a creative director and a team leader in a number of agencies during my career. As a UX UI lead designer since 2010, I managed branding and development processes of important projects. But at the same time, I never let go my passion, which is digital art. Since then, I continued to participate in physical exhibitions as an artist during my journey. And 8 months ago, I entered the NFT community in an effort to reach out to collectors with my works. Thank you.
Thank you. And on Yavin.
Hi, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me. And to briefly introduce myself, I'm the founder and the managing partner at Cointelligence Fund, a crypto VC fund completely focused on the metaverse and blockchain-based games. And about my past experience, I've been a serial entrepreneur for more than 20 years. Started my first company before I turned 20. Since then, started and developed different companies in different industries. 15 years ago, I started investing in startups as an angel investor and also mentored and advised hundreds of different startups over the years. And a little bit more than 5 years ago, I started Cointelligence as a research company. And early 2021, I started Cointelligence Fund, which I already mentioned before. So thanks again for having me. Looking forward to our panel.
Okay, great. Thank you. So my first question is for you, Batuhan. How does Web3 change the gaming experience for players and developers? As you know, we talk a lot about metaverse, NFT since pandemic, actually. Are we already completely experiencing this transition, or are we still in the early stages, and what comes later?
In Web3, NFTs have a huge impact on games. For an example, if you buy something on game, you can sell it to another one in game currency. But all of these are in game companies' servers. But in Web3, I can buy someone's NFT and sell another one with real money. Or I can farm some monsters in games. I can get cryptocurrency and I can buy chocolate with it. This is a huge thing, I think. And for Metaverse, actually, Metaverse is a MMORPG plus cryptocurrencies and NFTs because, for example, in the World of Warcraft, 10 years ago, I was a carpenter there. And I make something and sell someone. But I won't get any real money. Now we can get real money with blockchain and metaverse.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, Ender.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, you have a long journey with AI engines. How did these engines progress while you were working on? What tools do you use, and can you compare them for us?
Okay, sure. Actually, over the neural network, which we are just calling the data sets in this term, that keep growing. And on the other hand, the providers of the AI engines, also the tools that they are working on to do this much more user-friendly as well. Because of this, that the first time when I just faced with the AI engine tool first time, that I could see every code block on the screen, which is so terrifying because you need to understand what is for and how it's going to work. And right now, I just tried so many AI tools as well. I mean, the Weekend Plus, Clip, Disco Diffusion, DALL-E, Midjourney, version 3 beta and Stable Diffusion, PyTTI, and for all of them have the same goal, which is just provide much more better results depending your text image in prompts. And they are just working for the base user experience as well. So right now, in my experience, Midjourney beta version 3 and Stable Diffusion is just popping up much more better if you compare with the different AI tools. And during this journey, if I compare between them, and I should suggest you to start with the simplistic one. And then, because it depends of the experimenting with the AI tools as well, because you need to experience, you just self-thought how you might go on, and then you need to find your unique skills and unique styles as well. So all I can tell you with this.
So you choose Midjourney and Stable Diffusion?
Stable Diffusion, yeah.
Stable Diffusion.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about DALL-E, actually. I was expecting DALL-E.
Yeah, right now with the beta version 3, I think the DALL-E 2 and Midjourney just trying to find a common ground in some point, because both of them are so talented. So we will see. Just right now, we are just watching the experiment.
Oh, okay, thank you. So, Yavin, right now, lots of blog and analyzed that say this is the longest bear season. Actually, we are currently in a longest bear season. How does the bear season affect the market of NFT video games? Does it affect your investment as well? And are you waiting for the bull season to invest more?
So we don't know yet how long this bear market is going to be. Anyone that is saying otherwise is either a scammer or doesn't have anything, that doesn't know what they're talking about. And yes, first of all, it affects everyone. There's not even one single participant in our ecosystem that it doesn't affect. It doesn't matter what type of project you're managing. It doesn't matter what kind of investment portfolio you're managing. You will get hurt, and everyone already got hurt. But the biggest advantage that we have as a VC is the fact that we can hedge our risk much, much better compared to retail investors or mom and pop investors. And it's a big advantage, and it starts with the allocation that we're getting in project, which is a lot of times even much better at the moment compared to the current prices, because we were able to invest in very, very according to very good terms. Beside that, the current market situation, it all depends, like everything in life, it all depends on how you look at it, from which angle you're looking at it. And for us, the current situation, on one hand, is not good because some of our portfolio companies dropped in price, like most in the industry. I have to say that I'm very calm now to see that we did get hurt the least compared to everyone else, but still, it is worrying, as it should be for everyone. But the biggest thing about the current situation is the opportunities. And it's very, very well known that when you have crashes, you can buy the dip. You can buy very, very cheap, and later on potentially sell high. And that's exactly what we've been doing since the crashes started. We've changed our focus from investing in soft agreements. And just to explain to the audience that is watching us, for whoever doesn't know, in crypto, most of the token agreements, when you're buying tokens in very early stages, in seed or private rounds, you usually do it with a soft agreement, which is the initials are talking about you're buying future tokens that were not launched yet, or not released yet, and that's a part of the reason that you're getting very good terms for them. So that's what we've been doing until the crashes. And after the crashes started, we changed our focus to buying the dip, as they say, to buying tokens in a very, very cheap price. So on one hand, as I mentioned, it hurt everyone, including ourselves. On the other hand, there are huge opportunities in the market right now, and it's a great time to explore and exploit these opportunities.
So there are negative and positive sides like everything else, actually.
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you. So, Batuhan, how can Web3 artifacts like NFTs, tokens, enhance users' game experience? And what benefits does Web3 offer for programmers?
Actually, Web3 has a few offers to us and a few cons for us. For example, if you send some NFT or some cryptocurrency to user, it takes 20 or 30 seconds to write to blockchain. So many users do not want to wait this time. But if you give free cryptocurrency for users, they will accept it and they came to your game and they will check what's in there. At the same time, Web3 and blockchain kind of new technology for us, for me actually, because peer-to-peer protocols are everywhere from 2000s. For example, torrents. Everyone look torrent as a private file share thing, but it work same with the blockchain. You send some bits to some people and they will store that in their computers and start uploading to internet. If you are looking for something, the program give you a hash key and you start looking for that hash key. You go to some node and take the data to your computer. And this works a little bit slow, but if you have enough seeders, it works blazingly fast because you don't connect to any source. You are connected to people, from the people to the people. That's a great thing, actually.
Okay, thank you. I had no idea before these kind of technical details, actually. So, Ender, you are also a gamer for a long time. And what do you think Web3, NFTs, AI, and AI art will bring to the gaming industry?
Okay, as you may know, that Web3 is an idea, new iteration for World Wide Web, and contains decentralization and blockchain technologies and token-based economics, which means that it's a good thing because you can just you're able to see everything in a quite transparent way, but in the same time, nothing is certain. So which we can say there is no certainty, only opportunity about Web3. And like you mentioned, that I just start playing games since 1989. And my first game was, which I recall that the Prince of Persia. And also, Batuhan mentioned the World of Warcraft, which I just played a very long time, including the Battle of Azeroth. And later on, I just left the game in some point because I need to do so. But still playing with Diablo 3 and Hearthstone and similar MMORPGs and card-based games as well. And when the subject has come to an NFT about an integration with the gaming, so we can see that most of the MMORPG games, that there are some NPCs just modeled by AI. In some, they have some behaviors or related to commit with the scenarios already just modeled about them. But also just we can imagine that in a real time behavior, when you just buy out an NFT only for your journey in the game. So you have a character that you are just trying to be a hero inside of the game, and imagine that you can change whole journey inside of the game and related with the NFT that you're gonna buy. So it will just give you another perspective on the gamification and gaming market as well, because you just implement yourself quite different than the other players with your journey and with your titles. So it's quite that you can call out that so fascinating, amazing idea. But of course, it takes some time to implement in the games. And also, when we call out the artificial intelligence implementation of the characters, then you can just imagine every single one of them has a personality because of the AI that you're just programming. So also in the AI, design and generative art just can support the concept artists, where they are just working on the character modeling and the environment in the game. So it will be much more creative, supportive tools for the concept artist, because AI has no logic like we do. I mean, he doesn't care the mathematics, geometry, physical rules, or scientific inputs. AI is just creating depending on your prompts. So if you say, for example, the cotton candy flower, and top of that there's a small tiny house, it's going great. And every single iteration will be amazing, because every single one of them is unique. So if you combine this AI generative art with the concept art unique skills, artist unique skills, where you can see a bunch of very creative images and concept arts for the game. So thank you.
And it will be more quick, actually, I guess.
Yeah, it depends of the right words that you're gonna write it. Of course, you need to experimenting before you say go. And you need to find the best suitable AI engine for your creating and to create your concept arts. For now, I can tell you that yes, Stable Diffusion, Midjourney Beta version 3, and DALL-E is the best candidate so far.
I'm not a gamer, but even I got excited what you told about. So thank you. And on Yavin, I'm sure that lots of entrepreneurs are watching us and they are curious about what you are going to tell. So what do you look for as an investor during the investment process? What are the most significant parameters for an investor to consider when evaluating a Coinbase or Web3 project?
Yeah, sure. But before I answer, Ender, I'm still stuck on the fact that you played Prince of Persia. I think that most people in the world will not even know that.
I saw your look, actually. Yeah.
Will not even recognize that name. We're so old that
yeah,
that was actually one of the games that I loved the most. As one of my first games that I played, which I forgot to mention. I think when I introduced myself, that I've always been a gamer, and I'm still a gamer. I'm actually going to raid today in World of Warcraft after this.
Really? Oh my god!
Yeah, I will never miss a weekly raid, no matter what I have to do in order to get a proper connection, even when I'm traveling.
You're raiding. Are you leading the raid, or people are just leading the raid?
No, just participating with my rogue.
Okay.
Don't push it. Managing a raid, that's way too much work. I'll never be able to find the time for that.
What class that you are playing with?
Rogue, always a rogue.
Rogue. Okay.
Always.
Right.
The combination between PvE and PvP with rogues is something that no other character.
Yeah, unmeasurable. Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what, and I love it. Anyways, sorry about that. To answer your question. We lost our moderator.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna answer anyway. So with regards to our due diligence process and how we actually choose our investment. So first of all investors will say what I'm about to say. It's all about the team. It's always about the team. It starts with the team. It ends with the team. Everything else is extremely important, not as important as the team. And when I say that the team is important, I am referring to the following points. One, the team has to have the right and relevant experience and abilities. And when it comes to blockchain and crypto specifically, too many teams are not capable of managing a crypto/blockchain startup because the blockchain developers are not skilled or they don't have the proper experience, especially considering it's such a very early industry. And I'm not even considering the time that Bitcoin has been around. I will actually start the count starting the ICO craze just about 5 years ago, because before that it was just Bitcoin and everything else was not relevant yet. Maybe just planning. The second part of the team members is everything that has to do with marketing. And with crypto marketing, it doesn't have anything to do with traditional marketing. It's a completely different ballgame. And unfortunately, most of the projects, most of the founders, and most of the even investors themselves don't understand how important that part is. Hey, yes, sir, welcome back.
I was here actually. I was listening to you, but
perfect.
I lost for a second. Okay.
So, and the last part about the team that I will mention is the fact, and I'll make that part short, but to talk about it properly, I will need like a whole hour. The team members must be able to manage a startup. And I'm not talking about crypto right now. I'm talking about managing a startup. Managing a startup is going to war. Sometimes I meet founders of projects that actually think that they can work similarly to how they worked at the bank, 9 to 5. And they think that they can go on holidays and they can meet their friends and family as they did before starting the startup. They can forget about it. It's going to war. You cannot do anything else besides managing your startup. And if anybody tells me, oh yeah, but you have to have good balance in life between work and pleasure, that's great. So go work at the bank. Go work at the 500 Fortune company. Don't work at a startup. And beside the team, which, as I mentioned, is probably the most important part, we are also analyzing everything that has to do with token economics. And right now I'm talking about crypto startups, of course. Everything to do with token economics, which is extremely important. And again, unfortunately, most projects will fail with their token economics. Beside that, we are reviewing everything from the concept and the vision to the execution. And obviously, it's very difficult with early stage startups, but we know how to do it even if not much happened until the day that we started the reviewing. And lastly, I will mention the fact that the founders, when we are analyzing the project, we are also making sure, and that's something that you don't hear when you talk to traditional investors. We make sure that the founders actually created everything themselves and they didn't copy paste parts of other projects, which is something that is happening on a regular basis with crypto startups. And I would even say that it's most of the crypto startups. These are just highlights. Obviously, there's hundreds to thousands of different things that we are reviewing, but these are the basics of the basics.
Okay, thank you very much. And Batuhan, so we frequently mention that community management is one of the game's most critical parts. Is building a community for every game equally important? What does community in a game mean? Why is it extremely important, and will Web3 have an impact on community building as well?
I don't have so much experience on this content because my co-founders managing communities. But for communities, it's need to be there. Because if you don't have a community, then you don't have a user. If you don't have a user, you won't get any money. For example, in World of Warcraft, we make raids, and in raids, in guilds, everybody know each other, and everybody talk about game. Extra, everybody talk each other for their family. How are you? How is your family? This made a kind of family. In crypto games, if you have a community like that, you will have so much money, I think. And extra on what Yavin said, it's very, very true. If you have a startup, you are in a war, and you need for it work and life balance. You need to have when you will work, when you will get into meetings, when will you manage your team, and so on.
Okay, thank you. So, Ender, do you have also gaming experience? So maybe you want to add something about community management as well. And I have another question for you.
Okay.
So, is it possible for an AI artist to incorporate gamification into their work in the NFT world? Could you provide an example? How can we implement gaming into art?
Okay. That I can tell you that as an example, that right now Murat has some experimenting with new AI outputs. So, which means that Murat will release something new as a collection, and also on the previous collections that also there are some logic and gamification behind the pieces. This could be a good example to the merging the idea of artificial intelligence output, including the gamification in one NFT world. Also, that I started to hear that on the Steam there are a bunch of indie games, and the developer itself that he's just saying that if you just buy out my NFT, you will have every single rights about this game, and you can just download it, and it will be your game. You can just play in the world with this unique game if you wanted to play alone, or you can just put in on the Steam platform and you can just sell it. So it depends on your call. This is another idea with combining with the artificial intelligence and gamification and NFT merge. And also, I started to see a bunch of concept arts just starting to create the storyboards with the artificial intelligence power, because you can just generate the story itself so fast with these AI engines, and which means that it will just speed up the process for the developer himself as well. And I have started to hear that most of the MMORPG games that just play, for example, the World of Warcraft, there are some guilds that if you wanted to join the guild, we have a collection. You just buy out one of the NFT just to support this guild inside of the game, because we do have channels, we do have some Twitch channels as well. So as a player, you just go to there and buy out that NFT, which is just selling into an edition, for example, 0.05 Ethereum or something, and then you just become the part of the guild, or you will become the best candidate so far. And I start to hear just the Blizzard company, just that you all know that there are just Blizzard shop that you can just buy out the new mounts, or you can just convert in-game money to a real money, which means that you can just turn golds into euro currency, or it depends of your location as well. You can just see that you can just turn out the Turkish lira as well. And what I heard is just a rumor that the Blizzard just going to be release a new collection, and over there you will just buy out the TBC cards, and when it will be just hidden cards at the first, and then it will be open itself in some point, and you will see you win or not win that amount that you want to write in the game. So these are the mechanics and gamification ideas so far that I heard. Some of them are real, some of them are rumors that we will see in the near future.
Wow, so many ideas. Thank you. So, on Yavin, I know you told about the bear market advantages and disadvantages, but what are the benefits and disadvantages of the both bear and bull market actually for investor? And do you have any advice for new investors?
Absolutely. So first of all, I couldn't stress this enough, but do not invest in what you do not understand. And I'm so serious about this. One of the biggest problems in our industry is the fact that investors, that in my opinion, most investors don't have a clue on what they're doing. And I'm talking about all types of investors, from mom and pop investors to professional investors to even VCs. And I already mentioned it before, but I would like to stress it and say that it leads to even a bigger problem, because these investors will rely on other investors that don't have a clue themselves, or some of the investors rely on celebrities that are investing in different crypto projects. And just to explain to you how bad the situation is, when I started Cointelligence, as I mentioned before, a little bit more than 5 years ago, we analyzed more than 1,100 different blockchain and crypto companies. We came from research before the fund's time. And we were completely shocked from what we saw. I mean, we saw scams left and right. And not only we found the scams, we found so many people investing in these scams. And I'll give you two examples of two scams that we found. One was endorsed by Red Bull, the famous energy drink, and they sponsored the scam, and people actually invested in that because Red Bull was endorsing it. And in another case, one of my
sorry, in which country?
Oh, it was a global.
Oh my God!
It was global,
Okay.
and people invested about, if I remember correctly, that case was like 4 years ago. 3.5, 4 years ago. I think that people invested more than 150 million overall. It was absolutely insane. And in a second example that I will give you, for example, one of my movie actress that I really liked when I was a child, from the fighting genre. His name is Steven Seagal. He endorsed another scam, and people invested in that scam only because of him. And in another case, we found a scam, and we called out a scam that used Mike Tyson name without even him knowing it. And when he read our article, he announced on his Twitter that he has nothing to do with that scam. So it's completely horrible. And investors are investing based on that and based on the entire FOMO that's happening. So the first advice is just don't do it. Don't invest if you don't understand it. If you really want to invest in crypto, educate yourself and learn about it. And even then, you're not in any bulletproof situation, but it's still much, much better. The second advice that I would like to give our audience is that if it's too good to be true, it's probably a scam. Don't invest in it. If you see promises of high yield returns, no risk headlines, you are definitely going to make profit within a few hours, a few days, or a few months. If you see all these signals that are telling you this is the best deal of your life, this is the best investment that you ever saw, this is going to be the next Bitcoin, whenever you see all these headlines, don't invest. It doesn't matter how you turn it around, just don't invest. And the third and last example that I would like to give you is the fact that when your best friend or your family member is advising you to invest in a crypto project, just don't do it, because most chances they followed others exactly following what I mentioned before, and you will tell yourself, yeah, of course I can trust my brother, I can trust my cousin, I can trust him or her because it's my family member. And that's exactly how the scammers operate and make sure that everybody invests in their scams.
Yes, there are lots of stories like that, and I think these are the golden advices. So thank you very much. And your first advice is so true for entrepreneurs as well. If the investor doesn't understand the project, even if it is not scam, the investor kills the project actually. So it is wrong for both sides.
They can, and especially when investors are supposed to help the founders of the projects in crypto. And again, most of them don't understand what they're investing in, and they definitely can't help the projects in any way. They're just promising the moon, like some of the founders are promising the moon. It's unbelievable to see it, and the situation is not improving, by the way. With regards to that, it's exactly the same as it has been 5 years ago, maybe even worse, because there's more people in crypto now and more players in the industry in general.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Batuhan, now I want to ask you about the addiction, gaming addiction actually. You know that numerous articles discuss how addictive video games can be, and in reality, it has been a few years since WHO recognized gaming addiction as an addiction. Will Web3 make this dependence worse? Are there any psychological related studies? And what are your opinions as a player and a product manager, as a developer as well?
Actually, gaming addiction, it has nothing to do with Web3. If your game is mostly RPGs, MMORPGs, if your user have fun with your game, then they will be addicted to your game. It's just that if you have a fun game, you have addicted users. I think there's nothing more to say about that.
What kind of games do you have?
Mostly MMORPGs and card games, for example, Hearthstone. I played so much, but recently I don't have any time to play games.
Okay, thank you. So, Ender,
Yeah.
do you believe artificial intelligence will kill creativity or create new pathways? Because this is the very popular discussion topic, I know. And
These days.
yeah, similarly, is gaming an addiction and an escape, or does it foster creativity?
Okay, the first question is that I already mentioned the generative AI art is something that triggered your imagination, which means that because it is not thinking that we do the way we do. And so that's why there's some sort of relying your imagination connected with the AI artificial intelligence art output, which means that it triggers your imagination in some point because you need to do so. Maybe you have no idea that you already have the talent about storytelling or the best description that you can write with, or you need to know that some certain terms, inputs, just to see on the screen that you wanted to see. So, which means that there's some sort of self-education with and relationship with the AI, just to speak with the same language, depending your idea and the output that you want to see on the screen as well. So I'm saying that you can create something if you write. Yeah, it's okay, but it's really hard to define what you're imagining in your mind and finding the right inputs and words describing the scenario just to see you want to see. So yes, it needs some sort of tryouts and iterations during your journey, but eventually that you will find yourself in a position that you can just start to talk with the AI in the same language. And when you reach that point, and I believe that as an artist that you have your own unique talent and skills, and the art that where you see, so you need to find a common ground with the AI outputs where you can just create something new, fresh for you and your spirit in some point, because we all need to do. We all need to find out the common ground. If the subject is just still talking today, AI is an art or not, or a design. So the second question is that I already mentioned that I'm playing video games since 1989, and the gaming, if you can control yourself, that the game is starting to a best friend for you, because the gaming is something that we need as a form of mental exercise, that it clock as an entertainment. And according to studies, that video gameplays have been linked to increased brain activity and connectivity and a gray matter. By the way, the term itself, gray matter, is just associated with the muscle control, memories and perception, and spiral navigation, which means that you can just react a lot of things so many fast, or you can just become a person that you can just give an idea or decision so fast. This is the positive contribution with the gaming market and for a player. This is my idea, of course.
Yeah, if I understand the right way, you told that you're playing games for like 30 years, right?
Yeah, correct.
And you're saying you are not addicted.
No, because because I can, like I said earlier, that I just left World of Warcraft. I just left this game or left that game because in some point that I tried to collect the best practices as a UX UI designer as well. These companies just created for the users because they know how to implement so bunch of call to actions inside of the game. You have many interactions, so I try to collect the ideas over there and how they thought that they create a solution for the person who's going to play the game. And also there is in amazing storytelling, each of the character in, for example, again, the World of Warcraft or a similar MMORPG games, everything is beginning with the stories. So this game just gives you some sort of an idea that where you need to these kind of stories. So which means that you're going to tell about your story to your audience. So you need to learn how to make a storytelling. So without noticing that the game itself just started to educate you, and the way of thinking about the interactive decisions when it comes to in a real world. So yeah, this is my idea again.
Okay, I was joking, and thank you.
Okay.
And
my
right,
answer is
actually.
so serious. Yeah, I know.
yeah, I know. I like watching the movies of characters in games more than playing games, actually. That's totally right on my side. So, on Yavin, I believe you have met many entrepreneurs besides scammers and listened to many real pitches. So, can you tell us about the industry's growth rates when we think about it? How quickly is the number of startups and projects in Web3 gaming growing? And also, what are your thoughts on quality of projects?
So, first of all, the current situation in our industry is that all games, just except maybe for a few of them, and when I say a few, I can count them on maybe two of my hands, and that's a big maybe. All of them are, I wouldn't even define them as games because they're so low level, and maybe these games are suitable for when I started playing games too many years ago, not suitable for 2022. But obviously there's a good reason for it as well, because most of the games were focused on connecting, asking the players to connect to their crypto wallets. And I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that the games projects did. And it doesn't have anything to do with the games themselves. The infrastructure of blockchain is too young and it's not advanced yet. And it's a huge, huge problem in most cases. So the level is very, very low. But I can tell you that there is huge potential. I think that we're going to see the second generation, as I call it, for blockchain-based games very soon, maybe even in a few months from now, or Q1 or Q2 next year. And then we're going to see huge, huge progress and a huge change compared to what we've seen until now. I think that beside that, I think that the blockchain-based games revolution is the biggest revolution that we've seen with gaming. And obviously gaming is, in general, a very, I'm talking about computer games, of course, not gaming in general, is a very, very young industry in general compared to other gaming industries. But having said that, I think that it is going to be the biggest revolution, and it's probably going to last for decades, or I don't know how long, maybe even hundreds of years later, because of the identity part, because of the ownership part, because of the huge different possibilities that are going to start exist based on this revolution. And I don't even think that most of us can even imagine what's going to happen in a few years from now, because things are going to advance and progress so fast, as always with crypto. I wake up every day in the morning. I need at least 1 hour just to catch up on what I missed when I went during the time I slept. And even that, even that's not enough, in my opinion. And lastly, I think that what is mostly important, and I think that most of the founders of projects already realized it, is that if they will not create good games, the ones that players would like to play, really play, then it doesn't matter if you're going to use NFTs. It doesn't matter if you're going to allow them to earn while playing. All of that doesn't matter. The games must be good. That's the first and foremost part before anything else. And I think that most of them got it, and most of them are working on it as we speak right now. The biggest issue that I see that is going to happen next year and the following year is that most of the crypto games projects will not have enough funds to compete with traditional games. That's going to be the biggest problem. Not now, that's going to be the next stage of our problems and issues. But I think that's going to be the next biggest issue. And hopefully by that time, we're going to see huge money coming in to support crypto projects, crypto games, blockchain-based games. And then hopefully it's not going to be such a big issue. So that's it. That's in a nutshell, of course, to answer your question.
Thank you very much. So we are coming to end, actually our last 10 minutes. So I want to ask your future plans. Let's start with you, Batuhan. Can you inform us about upcoming Spike Games projects and your plans as well?
Yes, now we are developing I think, revolutionary API or SDK that will that can change every game to blockchain games, and user can have money with it We don't want any money of the user. We just want them to play our game. We do not collect user data or anything. We just want their time to play our game. When we are making money, they will. This is one of our projects, and the other project from Spike. Spike is making mainly games, and we will make a bigger game with Spike, and they will have a few unique technologies in their game. I can say that.
Very exciting, thank you. And Ender, can you tell us a little bit about your next projects, on which platform our listeners can follow you?
Okay. Actually, at the moment that I'm just sharing some sci-fi story series on Twitter with my good morning tweets. And eventually I'm thinking that story will turn into a physical book where you can just read it. And for that you need to buy out the that I'm going to create with the artificial intelligence art. There will be a cover picture as an NFT. And if you buy that NFT, that you will have the physical version of the book itself. So there will be only one book, and all the terms of use and copyrights will be delivered to owner of the NFT. And yeah, this will be another the next project on my side. And if you wanted to follow me, that you can just my handle is my name and surname, so you can just find out over the Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you.
Okay, sounds exciting. Thank you. And Yavin, do you intend to invest in areas other than Web3 gaming developments in the near future? And do you like, for example, art platforms? Are you an NFT collector as well? And could you please share your future plans with us?
Is it my connection? Because I see.
Sorry. Only Yavin is freezed on my screen.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Yeah, likewise. And
yeah, I think he lost the question.
Yeah,
so.
He lost the connection.
Yeah. Okay, then. So I have a few minutes until he comes. I can ask you one more question, maybe. So let's start with you, Batuhan, again. Do you believe that NFT gaming will be satisfied, or will it come in a variety of different forms? What actions will be provided for gamers who want to continual experience once we begin in living in the metaverse, actually?
Metaverse is a dangerous business, I think, because if you put Web3 or blockchain center of some games, users will need to pay every step for gas. For example, if I give you something, if I give you a gold for gift, me and the recipient need to pay gas fee and need to wait 20 or 13 seconds. But in a good way, Web3 and blockchain can be revolutionary in games because if you want to sell something to someone, you need to turn this into real money.
Okay, thank you. So, Onyevin, welcome back. Are you there and do you hear us? I think he is gone again. So, Ender.
Yeah.
How can artificial intelligence and Web3 make a game more exciting? So please answer as a player and also as an AI artist.
Okay, I'm sure that Yavin and Batuhan is already know that there is some sort of a pet love in World of Warcraft. And if you wanted to have the pet that you just try to buy out from the auction house, or you just trying to tame yourself. But imagine like this and something like this, that you just play this kind of game that in metaverse, and in real time when you just buy out a present box, the artificial intelligence itself just creates some sort of a new kind of pet in real time. So you have no idea what kind of things that he's going to create for you, but the artificial intelligence will know what kind of a persona inside of the game you have. So depending of your persona and your friend relationship in the game and the guild that you're just playing inside of the friends, and depending your dungeon runs, mythical runs or raid runs, or the bosses that you have killed, maybe the artificial intelligence will create a unique pet just only for you. So Blizzard, if you can hear me, don't steal my idea. This is my idea right now that I'm going to say. Oh, Yavin is just start to laugh. Yeah, it's the thing is that like I told you before, the AI is so creative that where you can imagine, because it is not thinking like you do. So if the AI can combine with this kind of gamification inside of the World of Warcraft, all I can tell you, which all the gamers just try to tell every time, take my money. That's it. So this is my idea. Thank you.
AI also can play for me actually and can earn.
Yeah.
AI is very clever than me. He or she is a better gamer than me. So I can use AI for that actually. And Yavin, welcome back. I'm happy to see you finally at last. So I was asking that, do you intend to invest in areas other than Web3 gaming? For example, do you want to invest in NFT platforms, art platforms, or are you an NFT collector as well? Could you please share your future plans?
Yeah, sure. So right now, we don't have any plans investing in anything else beside the metaverse and blockchain-based games. But I do have to say that we are also investing in the ecosystem. So if it's, for example, a specific blockchain that is created for mainly for games, it can be interesting for us. If it's a guild project that can help our portfolio companies, then we would definitely consider. We already invested in two of these type of projects, and we just think that it's best for us to focus on gaming, but it doesn't mean that the other types of projects like art or music or anything else that is happening right now around the NFT craze, as I'd like to call it. But just for us, we think that we have a huge advantage with the gaming compared to any investor out there. And we can actually help the projects much more than other investors. And that's why, among other reasons, we chose to focus on that. And I do have to tell you that, to be honest, beside the part of NFTs in blockchain-based games, and as much as I loved collecting cards as when I was young, I don't find NFTs in general to be interesting at the moment. I think that most of the volume that we've seen is, again, volume created by scammers, volume created by people that wanted to launder their money, all kinds of wash trading techniques that we've seen, which is unbelievable, the level that it got to. And I think it's going to take some time before NFTs, with no regard to gaming, will be adopted by the mainstream, and it's going to take some time. I think that with gaming, we have the best chance of adoption for crypto in general and for NFTs, and that's why we decided to focus on that. And again, I'm emphasizing it doesn't mean that there are other types of projects that are not interesting. I did see many interesting projects, but we just decided to focus on gaming.
Okay, thank you very much. So our time is up. Do you want to add something or Anything else? Okay, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for listening to us. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.